The night holds its breath, shadows dance, legends whisper of creatures that stalk the darkness, the werewolf and the vampire. These mythical beings have haunted humanity for centuries. Their stories, passed down through generations, still send shivers down our spines. What is it about these creatures that continues to fascinate us? Is it their monstrous strength, or perhaps the darkness that dwells within them, a reflection of our own hidden desires and fears? This journey takes us deep into the heart of these legends. We'll uncover their ancient origins, tracing their evolution through time. Prepare to explore the cultural impact of werewolves and vampires, from ancient folklore to modern blockbusters. The truth, like these creatures themselves, lurks in the shadows. Get ready to explore the captivating world of werewolves and vampires. Their stories are more than just myth and legend. They offer a glimpse into the human psyche, our fears, and our endless fascination with the unknown. The roots of these legends run deep, intertwining with the very fabric of human history and culture. Reaching back into the mists of time, these stories have been passed down through generations, evolving and adapting with each retelling. Ancient civilizations whispered of creatures that preyed on the night, beings that defied the natural order and invoked fear in the hearts of the living. Tales of the undead and shapeshifters served as warnings and explanations for the unexplainable, offering a way to make sense of the unknown. Vampires in their earliest forms haunted the folklore of ancient cultures, their presence a dark shadow over the lives of those who believed in them. In Mesopotamia, tales spoke of monstrous beings that fed on blood, creatures that lurked in the shadows and preyed upon the unsuspecting. Egyptians feared spirits that rose from the grave, driven by a hunger for the living, their existence a constant reminder of the thin veil between life and death. These early beliefs laid the groundwork for the vampire legend we know today, a legend that has persisted and evolved over millennia. Werewolf lore, too, has ancient origins, rooted in the primal fear of the wild and the unknown. Ancient Greeks told tales of Lycaon, a king cursed by the gods to live as a wolf, his transformation a punishment for his hubris and defiance. Norse mythology featured fearsome wolf-like creatures like Fenrir, harbingers of chaos and destruction, whose stories were woven into the very fabric of their culture. These stories, shared across continents, reveal a primal fear of the wolf, a creature both revered and feared for its strength and ferocity, its presence a symbol of the untamed wilderness. The legends of werewolves and vampires, though originating in different corners of the world, share a common thread, a reflection of humanity's deepest fears and darkest imaginings. They embody humanity's fear of the unknown, of the beast within, and of the darkness that lurks just beyond the firelight, a darkness that has always been a part of the human experience. These primal fears, woven into stories, have echoed through the ages, ensuring the survival of these captivating legends, their power undiminished by the passage of time. While ancient whispers planted the seeds, it was literature that gave these creatures their iconic forms. Authors, inspired by folklore and fueled by imagination, breathed new life into these age-old monsters. John Polidori's The Vampire, published in 1819, introduced the world to Lord Ruthven, a charming and Byronic vampire who seduced his victims before draining them of their lifeblood. This novel helped to establish the archetype of the aristocratic and alluring vampire, a far cry from the monstrous creatures of earlier folklore. The werewolf's transformation in literature took a different path. It was George Reynolds' 1847 penny dreadful, Wagner the Werewolf, that solidified the image of the werewolf as a tragic figure, cursed to transform under the light of the full moon. These literary works, along with countless others, shaped the way we view werewolves and vampires today. The monsters of folklore, once crude and monstrous, were refined and redefined, becoming complex characters with tragic pasts, hidden desires, and a touch of humanity that made them all the more terrifying. The legends of werewolves and vampires are not confined to dusty bookshelves. These tales have transcended the pages of ancient manuscripts and have become an integral part of our cultural heritage. They have been woven into the very fabric of cultures around the world, reflecting societal anxieties, beliefs, and even historical events. From the bustling markets of Asia to the vibrant festivals of South America, these legends have found a place in the hearts and minds of people everywhere. In Eastern Europe, for example, vampire lore became deeply intertwined with superstitions surrounding death and disease. The fear of the unknown and the unseen gave rise to stories of the undead, creatures that could transcend the boundaries of life and death. The fear of the undead was very real, and rituals to prevent corpses from rising from the grave were commonplace. Villagers would perform ceremonies and place protective symbols on graves to ensure that the dead remained at rest. These beliefs offer a glimpse into the realities of life and death in a time when disease was rampant, and explanations for its spread were shrouded in superstition. The lack of scientific understanding led to a reliance on folklore and myth to make sense of the world. Werewolf lore, too, reflects historical anxieties. The transformation of man into beast symbolized the fear of losing one's humanity and succumbing to primal instincts. During the witch hunts of the early modern period, accusations of lycanthropy, the ability to transform into a wolf, were rampant. These accusations were often used as a means to control and persecute those who were seen as outsiders or threats to societal norms. The fear of the werewolf became a tool of persecution, used to target individuals deemed different or dangerous by society. Trials and executions were carried out in the name of protecting the community from these supposed threats. These examples illustrate the powerful hold that these legends have had on the human psyche. They have been passed down through generations, evolving with each retelling, yet retaining their core essence. They are not merely stories but reflections of our deepest fears, our struggles with mortality, and the dark side of human nature. Around campfires and in the quiet of night, these tales remind us of the thin line between reality and the supernatural. They serve as cautionary tales, reminding us of the potential for both good and evil that resides within us all. As we explore these legends, we gain insight into the human condition and the timeless themes that continue to resonate with us today. Nowhere is the cultural impact of these legends more evident than in the historical period known as the witch hunts. This dark chapter in human history, spanning centuries and continents, saw thousands of individuals, mostly women, accused of witchcraft and lycanthropy. The fear of werewolves was particularly potent during this time. Accused werewolves were often blamed for unexplained deaths, livestock attacks, and other misfortunes. These accusations, fueled by superstition and mass hysteria, often resulted in torture and execution. One of the most infamous werewolf trials was that of Peter Stump, the werewolf of Bedburg, in 1589. Stump confessed, under torture, to a series of gruesome murders, and to consorting with the devil. While his confession was likely coerced, his story fueled the public's fear of werewolves. The witch hunts serve as a chilling reminder of the power of fear and superstition. The legends of werewolves and vampires, once confined to folklore, had real-world consequences, highlighting the dark side of human nature and the dangers of unchecked persecution. In the modern era, the legends of werewolves and vampires have taken on a new dimension: rivalry. This age-old conflict has been reimagined and revitalized, capturing the essence of these mythical creatures in a way that resonates with contemporary audiences. This clash of titans, often portrayed in literature, film, and television, pits these two iconic monsters against each other in an epic battle for supremacy. From blockbuster movies to best-selling novels, the narrative of their struggle has become a staple in modern storytelling. This rivalry, while a relatively recent development in the grand scheme of these legends, has captured the imaginations of audiences worldwide. Whether it's through the flickering light of a campfire or the glow of a cinema screen, the tale of vampires versus werewolves continues to enthrall. Perhaps it is the stark contrast between these creatures, the elegant undead vampire versus the primal shape-shifting werewolf, that makes their confrontations so compelling. The full moon, a symbol of transformation and mystery, often sets the stage for their epic battles. Their rivalry also taps into the classic battle between order and chaos, reason and instinct. The serene dawn and chaotic storm represent the duality of their existence, mirroring the internal and external conflicts they face. Vampires, often portrayed as intelligent and calculating, represent control and order. Their elegant settings and sophisticated demeanor contrast sharply with the wild nature of their adversaries. Werewolves, driven by their animalistic urges, embody the untamed wilderness within. Their raw power and primal instincts make them formidable opponents, representing the chaos and unpredictability of nature. This modern rivalry, while entertaining, also reveals a deeper truth about these legends. They serve as a canvas for exploring human nature, our fears, and our desires. Through their stories, we confront our own inner demons and the duality of our existence. They are not static but constantly evolving, reflecting the changing fears and fascinations of contemporary society. As the seasons change and cities transform, so too do these legends, adapting to the times and remaining relevant. The clash between vampire and werewolf is a testament to the enduring power of these myths and their ability to adapt to new generations and mediums. From ancient ruins to modern cityscapes, their stories continue to be told, captivating audiences and inspiring new interpretations. While often portrayed as rivals, the legends of werewolves and vampires are not always so easily separated. In some cultures, their stories intertwine, blurring the lines between these seemingly distinct creatures. In Eastern European folklore, for example, werewolves are sometimes seen as a type of vampire, or at least closely related. Both creatures are associated with the night, with death, and with a thirst for blood. Some tales even describe werewolves as the servants of vampires carrying out their dark bidding. This blending of lore highlights the fluidity of mythology. These stories, passed down through generations, were constantly being reshaped and reinterpreted. The lines between different monsters could become blurred, creating a rich tapestry of interconnected legends. These shared elements underscore the fact that these creatures, despite their differences, share a common origin in human fear and fascination with the unknown. They are both creatures of the night, embodying our anxieties about the darkness that lies both within and outside ourselves.